Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Northwest Divide. I'm with my brother from
Fine.
another mother, man like James, James Redmondinho. You get me? The Scout Savior. What are you saying, man?
My guy. Come on,
What are you
G. Is
telling
my
me?
Wi-Fi all good? Because you're moving budgie. It might be on my screen now.
I'm calm. Am I not calm? Am I good? Can you hear me?
I don't know. I think it's my end. I think it might be my end. I think we're getting in sync now, though, my G. So we're all Gucci. We're all
Yeah.
Gucci. Can you hear me, sound?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
Happy
you loud
days.
and
Happy
clear, bro.
days.
Come on, come on. What are you saying though? What are you saying,
It'll,
man? How
it
you
should go in
feeling?
sync. Uh, Great. Nunes is amazing. And we always said this. We always agreed that Nunes was amazing, didn't we, Saeed? We always said that Nunes was a world-class player. We never slandered him and we never doubted him. And I know that you wish that you signed him because he's the best striker in the league. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, he's just boss. Do you know one thing I'll actually give Darwin his credit, though? And I've said this to you before. He's
Yeah.
a clutch player. Like, scored against Real Madrid. We got battered by them. But he scored 2 goals that got us in the lead, 2-0 up against them in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game
yeah, yeah.
at Anfield. Ended up getting thrashed, but he was still good. He scored against you in the 7-0 game, which is always good when a player's scoring against Man United. You never know. I know that United fans have been overly excited to see that their current owner, Mohamed Salah, might be leaving. Whereas Darwin Nunez can maybe take that rightful spot, you know what I'm saying? Because, someone needs to make sure that Manchester United are kept in place, and Darwin Nunez could be the new guy. So he's a clutch player. He's a clutch player, and I appreciate that about him. And he won us that game, broski, because at 75 minutes, I was done for. And then somehow he brought something out the charms, and it was amazing.
That's what I'm saying. You should have always backed him, eh? You should have always known this was the guy. But listen, we've got a lot to discuss, a lot of breaking news. Apparently, we just got some breaking news right now. David
What?
Ornstein has got some breaking news regarding Amrabat and Gravenberg. Make sure you guys are liking the video, people. Everyone right now, hit the like button on the video. David Ornstein has just dropped this right now, about 3 minutes ago. Manchester United are working on a deal to sign Sofian Amrabat. Manchester United hoping to take Fiorentina midfielder on loan rather than permanent due to FFP. Ryan Gravenberg among other options, but Morocco international top target. 27-year-old wants the Old Trafford move. So we are looking to get. I'm not gonna lie to you. The only thing for me though is, will Fiorentina take a loan or do they want the money now? That's the sticking point. If we do get a loan with a view to permanent, that makes sense. Everybody else does it, but as long as an English club does it, it's not apparently the rules. But everyone else gets to do it. But apparently English clubs can't do it. So I don't really believe FFP, if I'm being honest with you. I just think it's an excuse not to get into their pockets, but it is what it is. But yeah, James, what are you saying, man? Ryan Gravenberg is on that list as well. Does that worry you when you probably need a midfielder as well?
Not really. I haven't really. I'm just hoping of a midfielder. I don't really care if we miss out on Gravenberg. I haven't really put my stocks into wanting him too much. So for me, I'm all right with it. I'm okay if he goes to you or whatever. Amrabat's a good player. He's fine.
Yeah.
What's the expectation now? Because Amrabat has been the get out of jail card through the shift form. You know what I mean? He's been the oh, we need Amrabat
Yeah.
and we need to do this.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So now that you get him. Now that Mr. Ornstein, the guy is coming out saying you're going to get Amrabat. What's the expectation now? Are we league winning yet, or are we still?
No. Relax. We're nowhere near that, man.
Winners.
Nowhere near that.
Oh, we're not league
No,
winners.
not league
The big
winners,
Man
not league
United.
title challenges. We're
The
still
mighty
where we
Man
are.
United. So wait there. So
We're
you're all
chasing you
right
for
with being a
third.
title challenger until January. What?
Well, listen, if Man United do that, then that's what it is. But I will not say Man United are in a title challenge. Man United are battling third, just like you are. That's where you guys are going to probably finish at the end of the season. So I reckon we're in the same position. We're fighting for the
You're
same
on our
spot.
level. So you're
I
on
think
our
right
level.
now, yeah, I reckon we are.
Ooh,
Yeah,
how does
are
it
you
feel?
title challengers? Are you title challengers?
Are we title challengers? Are we shite?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, there you go then. So we are still on that kind of same wavelength. We're probably going to win a trophy and finish around third or fourth in that regard. Because I did
How do
predict
you
Liverpool to
feel?
finish fourth. So
How do
you know what I
how
mean?
do
It
you
is what it
feel?
is.
How do you feel that you went from 15 points in the league above us and you were buzzing? You were like, oh, it's the end of an era and Liverpool have finished, mate. Welcome back to the mid-2000s, mate. And you're still on our level, you fucking fools. And you
No,
lost 7-0 to
but
us.
then I could say to you, how do you go from mentality monsters to now just, you know what I mean? Like, just duds, really. You know what I mean? Like,
But
how
didn't you
do you
see
go from
Saturday
that?
mentality monsters? Didn't you see yesterday? This weekend mentality monsters. Didn't you see this? Did you
I
not see
see
this?
Nunes. I see the world class Nunes.
And is he not a Liverpool player?
Yeah, but do you rate him?
But now we're talking outside of the conversation we were originally having. And yeah, do you know what, Saeed? I do rate him. He's better
Yeah.
than all your strikers. I rate him in that sense.
Well, we haven't
I
seen
rate
what
him better
Hoyland's
than all
about yet.
yours.
We don't know what Hoyland's about yet. Let's see.
Exactly.
Let's see. Let's see if your striker can stay and play against Aston Villa. Let's see if he's a starter, first of all. First of all, we don't know if he's a starter. Right now, he's a squad player. So let's see if your guy actually starts games and is the name number 9, the man that you bought him for a lot of money. Let's see if you can actually start games. Let's just build his expectations up. Let's not put him onto that pedestal just yet. Let's
But
build his expectations up, man.
Nunes was wearing nappies when the Hoyland goal tally that Hoyland has got right now. Nunes was wearing nappies and he achieved that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hoyland's not that guy.
Which league was
Hoyland's
that?
just not that guy.
What league was that? Benfica league.
What are we saying?
What league was that? The Portuguese
Benfica
league,
league,
sorry.
yeah.
The
Right.
Portuguese
That's
league,
right,
yeah.
Benfica league. Yes.
Listen,
Okay,
Serie A
now
is
we
more
haven't
difficult.
established nothing.
Serie A,
Okay,
scoring
then.
11 goals in a Serie A for me is difficult, you know. You've got top defenders in there.
Was it
Whereas
more difficult than
Benfica,
scoring 32 goals for Benfica?
bro, that league is only what? It's only Porto and Benfica
Right, so
and
now
maybe
we need to
Sporting
start
Lisbon.
being honest.
Now you've got
Now we
Atalanta,
need to
you got
start being
Juventus,
honest.
you got Roma, you got
Now we need to
what
start
do you
being
call
honest,
it?
though, don't we?
Inter Milan, AC Milan. This is a more tougher
Nunes
league, man.
wouldn't score more in the Serie A. He wouldn't score more than 11
You
goals in the
think
Serie
so?
A. He got
You
15
think?
goals in the Prem last season.
Well,
That's
how many
actually
of
a
them in
lie.
the
He
Premier
got
League?
15 goals. He got 15 goals in all competitions. Which,
There you go, then. So get your facts right, then. You know what I'm saying?
wait
Immobile
there,
is
let me just
actually.
go. Let me just go out
Oh,
and in
sorry.
because
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
Wi-Fi's messed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hold that, man. Hold that. You see that when the argument gets tough for these Liverpool fans, they want to leave. You know what I'm saying to you people? They want to leave. They know Nunes ain't that guy. You know what I'm saying, man? Hold that, man. But you know what it is? I actually think with Nunes, yeah, what you got to rate about Nunes, yeah, big up to his back again now. What you got to rate about
Big
Nunes,
up.
and I don't want to make it all about Nunes, yeah, but what you got to rate about Nunes is that, you know what, at least he's got that kind of fire. You know, he's got that kind of hunger. You know what? He believes, like, you know what? He don't want to be defeated. Like, never say never. I like that about him. I like the fact that he's a warrior
Yeah,
in that
fact.
regards.
Yeah. Do you know what, lad? Saeed, 1 sec, bro. I just might need to reboot my Wi-Fi a sec, so I'll be 2 minutes because mine's doing a madness right now. So just give me 2 seconds as you're like buffering in and out of mine, so I can't even fully hear what you're saying. But I'll only be 2 seconds. Read the super chats or
Yeah.
something. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, he'll be back, people. He'll be back, man. He'll be back. People, apparently we got some breaking news regarding Matheus Nunes. Is Matheus Nunes gone as well? We're hearing some news about Matheus Nunes. Has it been accepted, people? This is a crazy transfer window, people. A crazy, crazy transfer window. Have Wolves accepted it? Yes, they have accepted it. Wolves have accepted a bid from Manchester City for Matheus Nunes. Wow, he will join the English champions. This is what happens, man. You replace a player, you go and get a player, man. This is what Man City do. This is what they do, people, man. This for me is a big signing. I can't lie to you. It's a big signing. You know what? Fair play to Man City. Yeah, I mean they've got a good ball carrying here. He'll get goals. Physically, for me, he's 10-10. And yeah, man, I think ultimately this is a good signing, man, for Wolves. I generally do. So, yeah, fair play to them, man. But yeah, listen, Amrabat. For me, I'm excited about Amrabat. I don't care for me if it's a loan. If it's a loan with an option to buy, sorry, with the what do you call it? With a view to be permanent, I'm taking that. Right now, just get him through the door. I don't care. Get Amrabat through the door. By all means. I think you could get both. You probably could get Amrabat and Gravenberg. But listen, Beggars can't be choosers. You know what I mean? We can't be kind of saying, you know what, we want everything. So you know what? The Glazers have made us get one. So right now, let's get one. Obligation to buy, few alone, and we get this man in. Because apparently Donny van der Beek has now left. He's now going to Lorient, which is kind of crazy. He's now on his way to Lorient in the French league. So it's time to get moving. Time is ticking. Time is money. We ain't got no time to waste. There you go. Fiorentina will accept a loan with the obligation to buy offers for Sofian Amrabat. We just need to be quick because I'm hearing news that Napoli are in the situation and they're trying to, find someone in there. So if Napoli are in there, then we need to get in there as well. Can you hear me,
Much
James?
better.
Can you hear me?
Much better. Much better.
Yeah,
Much better.
sweet, sweet.
I
But yeah,
apologize.
let's get this midfield going. You know what it is, yeah? I think with clubs right now, yeah, loan with the obligation to buy is not too bad of a deal. Every other league do it. Let's get it done. Have you ever had a player with a loan obligation to buy? Have you done them ones?
I think Arthur has one. I think he has an option to
Oh
buy.
yeah, we're not talking about that one. We're not talking about that one. Yeah, yeah. We're not talking about that one.
I mean, he was just a short-term solution. I don't know why people even got invested into Arthur. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think we all should have known that was going to be diabolically shit from when we got him. So yeah, what's happening with you? So you're getting Cucurella and you're getting Amrabat.
Amrabat and Cucurella, that'll be us done, I reckon. Probably us done.
Okay.
That'll be the last kind of push for United. By the way, do you rate Cucurella, by the way? Do you rate
I like
Cucurella?
him. I like him. Good player. Good player. I think you can get a tune out of him, to be honest. I think he's good.
See, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably one of a few in the United fan base that don't
Let me
rate
say
Cucurella. You know what it is? I don't rate the loan. The loan is the loan, isn't it? Like you can never go wrong with a loan. You're not buying a player. I just don't rate the player. Do you get it? Like I get it. He did whatever he did at what was it? Brighton. I thought he was a good player there. But I just look at him defensively at Chelsea. He's been getting cooked left, right, centre. I think physically in transitions he's weak. I'm very, very cautiously like I'm just wary of Cucurella. But again, on the ball, he's good. In that kind of inverted fullback role, he's a good player. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, yeah. In a back four, it won't work. He's better suited in a back five. But again, it just depends on what the manager's going to do. In a back four, I'd be very, very worried. Very worried. But let's see what happens with Cucurella,
Now we've got to analyse what is he being brought in to do. Is he being brought into... Of course, it's a both attacking and defending job, but what's his primary job? So Trent's primary job is to attack, for instance. What's Cucurella's primary job? Is his job to come in?
Cucurella will be... I reckon it'll be that left-hand side to add a bit more balance. I think he's a good ball carrier. I think for me, in that inverted fullback role, you get these inverted role now. I mean, it's just a new way of playing. Guardiola's introduced it. He can play that role better than Luke Shaw, probably better than Malacia, probably more experienced in that role than what's his name? Alvaro Fernandez. So in that regard, it's probably better we go and get it. But sometimes you can have bad loans. You know what I mean? As much as you say it's a loan, that's almost like a hopium for kind of like, you know what? It's going to be a success. Don't worry. We'll get the old Brighton. You don't necessarily might not get the old Brighton. You never know. Like his deficiencies could be exposed by a bigger club. You don't know in that regards. In Brighton, his flaws could have been hid by the fact that he was in a back five, by the fact that he was playing under Graham Potter in a good system. So let's see what happens. But in that regards, I'm very, very worried about his
He's a
defensive
short-term
capabilities.
solution, though.
But let's see. Sorry?
He's a short-term solution.
Short-term solution to the end of the season. 7 million loan, 5 to 7 million loan. We'll probably get that role, and then we'll probably, leave it as that in that regard. So, listen, Cucurella, Chelsea fans, I'm going to be doing a bit of research on Cucurella. This is my job now to see what games, and then probably watch a couple of games of him last season, even though I watched it anyway. But in that regards, have United done well then? When you look at it now, Cucurella, Amrabat, if we get through the door, the job we've done, what would you rate our window?
I'm saying like a 6-7, maybe 6-7. I think that's maybe a bit more fair than. Yeah, I think it's not overly great, But I think it's enough to sit there and say the manager got what he wanted. Because the Luke Shaw
Yeah,
thing was unexpected. So no one was expecting a new left back anyway. So the manager's actually got
facts.
the adequate replacements. If Cucurella's done, like at least he's got it over the line. And Amrabat, that's been the cover that Man United needed. Now, this is where I ask the question. Okay, so we've got a bit of a problem. So Rashford's left winger, no? Rashford's left winger, because
Left
if he's
winger, yeah,
left
left
winger, that
winger.
means Mason Mount can't play. That means Mason Mount can't play left wing, and if Mason Mount can't play left wing,
Oh,
that
he plays
means now
left
it's
centre
Mount.
eight. He plays in that left eight role. He plays in that left eight role anyway.
Facts, exactly. But I'm saying the argument would be if Mount was to be moved out of midfield to accommodate Amrabat coming into midfield, then he'd have to go to the left,
Oh,
which
yeah.
isn't going to happen. Is not going to happen. So now I ask you the question, because I think I expect the Mount to not be
Well, I
great.
dropped Mount.
And I
I
think,
dropped Mount because I never wanted Mount. I dropped Mount.
but I'm not asking what you will do. I want to rephrase the question. What do you think Ten Hag's going to do? Because
Well,
now what we're saying, Saeed, do we both agree Amrabat is the solution to making that midfield more balanced?
yes, to give us more
Yes,
balance,
we agree. But
so we're not
does
overrun.
Ten Hag see it that way as well? Or is he going to keep using his new number 7 big money mace?
You know what? What I think in my head is that, you know what? I think for me, he's gonna drop what do you call it, Amrabat. He's not gonna play Amrabat, and I really think he's gonna play Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno, and he'll play probably Amrabat in the Champions League games and maybe the big games in that regards. But against the smaller teams, okay, use Mount, whatever. But against the teams where you know what we need to win and we need to be resolute and we need to be compact and against the top six, especially away from home, get Amrabat and Casemiro in, and you only need 110 or one advanced player. So
Yeah.
we don't need that in that regard. So for me, it's what the manager does is a whole different kind of situation. I don't know what the manager's going to do. I can't quite read the manager at the minute. I don't know what he's trying to do in his philosophy in that regard. But we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Simple as that. CFC Pirates says, James, what is it like to live in Liverpool? Because we've seen players turning down millions. Saeed, are you calm now on and off from the Qatari train? Listen, I'm not really bothered about the ownership situation right now. Well, I'm not bothered, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not focused on it right now. I think for me, it's one of them where when it gets announced, it gets announced. That's just the way I kind of look at it right now. But James is saying, what's it like to live in Liverpool?
It's good. It's good. If he's referencing turning down millions, in fact, that's not what happens. Other teams come in and pay more millions than what we do. So it's a bit of a tough one. Like it's very rare that we're the only club in for a player and they say no. So yeah, it's usually when another team has got more to offer. But in terms of Liverpool, live near town, boss mate. If you live in Formby, it's nice there. And then everywhere else is just sound, you know, just
Yeah.
any normal working class city.
Yeah, yeah. No, listen, man. Liverpool go. You know what? The town centre is good. I reckon the Liverpool town centre is better than my Manchester town centre. It's very, very nice.
It
Absolutely
is.
solid.
Let me tell you what I like about
You know
it. Let
what?
me tell you what I like about it. It's all very close together, and it's like you don't have to walk mega distances or get
That's what I'm
taxis to
saying.
every place that you go.
Yeah.
It's this like just 5 minute distance, like wherever you want.
There you go. There you go. Guys, it's nearly 1,000 people in here. Not even about 300 likes. Guys, I don't know what you guys are doing, man. Hit the
What?
like button.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Come on, people, man. Hit the like button. It costs you nothing, man. Because we've got a lot to
Sort
talk
your
about,
shit
man.
out, mate. Sort your fucking
A
shit out,
lot
will
to
you?
talk about, man. The next one I want to talk about is Mo Salah. I mean, Jan Arja Foyther came out with this today, this morning. I was on my way to the city centre and I just looked at
He
Twitter and
is
I was
a
like,
chat shit merchant. He's a chat shit merchant. We don't listen to him, Saeed.
wow. But he said here, I understand that it's likely that Salah will leave at the end of the season. There's no smoke without fire, man. Is he a
Hey,
waffler?
hey.
He got the news about Sancho, so I don't know if he's a waffler. Is he a waffler?
Oh, to be fair, he might be credible. He said we were going to go and bid for Jude Bellingham, and that never happened. So again, probably just more of a hit and miss merchant.
Oh,
You know
he
what I mean?
did. You know what? He
Yeah,
did, didn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
And he said the Jude Bellingham situation isn't over as well in that regard.
Yeah. There's more reliable
Why?
journalists coming out. There's more reliable journalists coming out of Saudi saying that Salah that the deal's off because Liverpool won't engage in it and they can just come back in a year's time or something like that. You know what I mean? But the reason why Saudi want to get him in still is for the Club World Cup. They want to get him in for that. They want him to play in that. So they're not giving up the pursuit to actually try and get him. So there's definitely concrete. Yeah, this is the story. 2 weeks ago, Salah's agent comes out and says, we want to stay at the football club. That's what the player wants, and that's what we've
Yeah.
established together that we want. And then 2 weeks later, Al Ittihad say, oh, actually, fuck your private wishes because we're going to come in and give you an actual concrete offer now. Here's 150 million a season. And then, by the
Yeah.
way, we're going to give Liverpool about 100 million, but they never officially made that bid because we dismissed interest immediately. So what this has led to is Salah's got an offer that he hasn't turned down, which is important information. He has not turned down the offer. You know,
Yeah.
Saeed, if players are not interested in going somewhere, they'll turn it down. The same way Thiago did. Thiago turned down offers directly from Saudi. So people who say to me, Salah doesn't have to turn it down because of common courtesy. No, he can turn it down. So that's important. So now he's open to the idea of leaving. We just haven't received a bid. And I don't know if we're likely to receive one. And even if we do get one, the question is, do we sell him? Because it's a 31-year-old who you could get 100 million for, which is very unlikely in a lot of circumstances. It would be great business in some, but then you're like, how do you replace his goals? So I would keep him, as I don't think we would replace him. But if I'm the ownership, I understand completely why you would want to sell that player right there because he is 31 and he's a legend and I don't want him to go. But I understand it's pretty hard to turn down that type of money. So it'd be smart business.
And also, the biggest sticking point for Liverpool is that their window closes, I think it's 10 days after. So it's not even the same date as a European transfer window. So imagine they can do whatever they want after and put basically, unsettle him, basically. You can unsettle anyone with money. Money changes everyone. Money can change people. Their attitude, their way, people might influence them. Family might say, you know what, the wife might be like, you know what, that's a lot of money, we can live over there, Saudi Arabia, tax-free life for the kids. You don't know. And I'm not saying that he's not settled in Liverpool. I seen him yesterday in a museum, in an Egyptian museum. So he's settled in Liverpool, but at the same time, money is the root of all evil, as they say.
Do you know
It
what though, Saeed? Do you know what though, Saeed? Even though you're right, no one can make the claim on what's going to happen with Mo Salah right now. That dude, what did he say? Did he say, I understand that Salah's likely to want to go? Is that the way he worded it?
Yeah, he's likely to go this week. Now
that's a huge
That's what the question
fucking
was.
claim. That's a huge fucking claim because now that means you've got insight on the club's position. So now you know Ittihad are going to bid and you know Liverpool are going to be willing to sell of Ittihad's bid. To make that type of claim, you have to also know that information. You have to know our position and you have to know Ittihad's position. So then on Salah's point, like I said before, he hasn't turned down the offer, which is important. You know what I mean? So if he knows, okay, Salah hasn't turned down the offer, and he knows personally the position of both clubs, then he can sit there and say that with his chest. But I don't think he's got that information because I don't think we're willing to sell, and I don't think he knows how much they're going to offer him. So if I'm just going to make an out there claim, I think he's probably got a reliable source that he knows, and maybe he's gave him this information. This would have to be someone of substance to know shit like that going on. So I don't think today's news is ever tomorrow's news. I always look at the Nabil Fekir to us situation where he comes, he does the interview, and then he's not a Liverpool player. He could have told his mate, put a bet on me joining Liverpool, and it wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Like 1 minute he was, 1 minute he weren't. The here we goes became disproven when it never happened for whatever reason. So the same with the Salah situation. He might actually want to go to Saudi. It doesn't mean he will go because we've still got to agree to let him go.
Yeah, listen, I think it's crazy though that if you do lose him, are you kind of worried about your season then after, or are you kind of like, you know what? Well, this is where you earn your money, you can clock. You know what I mean? It's one of them where
that's it, lads. That's it. It's like you're a big football club. You'd like to think you can be sustainable without Salah. Salah's huge, but he's huge because of the system. Salah weren't much before he joined Liverpool, but when he came into the system, he became this amplified goal scorer and. Combining that with an elite mentality, he got given the elite platform to put that elite mentality on, where he gets repeated chances, and that's why he's such a good player because he never gives up. He can have 5 chances, squander them all, and he'll keep going. And he doesn't let anything disprove him. He speaks about himself in a good way, which I think helps as well.
Yeah.
In a sense that, you know, he affirms to himself, like, I am boss, I am great, I am not someone who is a little man. Like, who's the quickest? I'm the quickest. Who's the best? I'm the best. Who's going to get you the most points on
Mm.
FPL? I'm going to get you the most points on FPL. He's that type of dude, and I like people with that mentality. But then I don't agree with the people who are on the other side saying, if we lose Salah, we lose all of our goals. I just think systematically the goals become more spread out. But yes, you do
Yeah,
lose
100%.
a heavy person. He's also got so much better with creativity. Like, his final passing moments
Mm.
is much better.
The goal to Nunes, the pass to Nunes, that was
Bro,
amazing.
did you see his pass to Diaz on the opening day of the season against Chelsea?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's actually being
unbelievable.
serious. So we'll miss
Yeah,
him out on that department if he left, because he's massive for the creativity.
yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, it's gonna be a crazy week, man. We'll have to watch out on that story with Salah. It could be one of them where, it has to be a move where
Do you
it
think
needs to
he'll go,
happen
Saeed?
now.
Do you think he'll go?
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he'll go. I don't think he'll go. I don't think he'll go. I think he'll stay.
Why
I
don't
just
you
think
think
it's
he'll
too
go?
late
Do you think
because
it's because
I just think
we?
it's too late.
But when you
You also will say to him, you're basically staying, and I think the club will push him for him to stay. But also, I think you know what, he can leave next year. He can leave next year in that regard.
yeah.
And I just don't think he's unhappy and he's unsettled. You know what I mean? It'd be a situation where if he was a bit unhappy and unsettled, I would have said, you know what, fair play. That might be a situation where you know what, he'll leave. But I just think right now, you know what I mean. I think he's well and he's happy, and you know what, the money will be there next year. It will be
Yeah,
there next year in
Saeed,
that regards.
WRL, because you've just made a theory that he could possibly leave next summer if he weren't to leave this one. I agree, by the way.
Yeah.
WRL. Salah has played his last Champions League game for Liverpool, or ever, maybe.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
What are we
Yeah,
saying?
but yeah, I think you're right. You're right.
Last Champions League game. That's mad, isn't it? That's mad when you think
Yeah,
of it in that way.
yeah, 100%, man. Listen, we're gonna have to wait until how that news develops. More breaking news this morning has been crazy, people, man. Cole Palmer, Chelsea apparently have added the list of talented offensive players being considered for final edition. Chelsea set to open talks as they see Palmer as best solution. It remains to be seen Manchester City's position on Cole Palmer, but Chelsea really want him. You know what? Yeah, I don't think he should go to Chelsea. And here's why. I think for me, they've got enough creative attackers in their team. I generally do, especially when he's playing on the wing. He's a winger, right? You got Sterling there, you got Madueke there, you got Mudryk there, you got obviously, you know what I mean. Who else is there? And Cuckoo when he comes back. Like I think there's a lot there. I think for me personally, he should go to another club where he's going to get minutes.
Yeah.
But it just depends because you're going from one club, Man City, where you've got a lot of competition, to another club that there's a lot of competition. Like he wants to be a bona fide starter. He wants to be in the team playing games. He's at that age now where he's 21, 22. Like he needs to be playing games at this age.
It
So
seems to be one of two options right now. So it's one, you stay at City and you don't start at City, or two, you go to Chelsea and you don't start at Chelsea. That to me is quite an obvious choice. Now we've got to include the fact that Chelsea will offer him a decent contract. You know,
oh,
he's in a what the fuck, Saeed? What something's
apparently
happened?
35 million. I thought apparently they've bid 35 million.
I thought
Um,
some crazy breaking news came out then. Wait there, so they've already bid 35 million.
Rejected as well. Been rejected just right now.
Fair
35
play.
million been rejected. Yeah, that's crazy. What do you reckon they value him as? Like that, how much is he worth? Like, this is why this transfer market is so crazy. Like, what is a
I
player
think,
worth?
yeah, I was going to say, I'd say 35 to 40 would be good enough for someone who's played as often as him, but it's
Yeah,
not. It's Saeed. It's not what we say the price is. It's what City say the price is. They don't want to let him go for that price. They're like, we can get more out of it. You know what I'm saying?
we
Let's
can
get
get more
more
out
out
of
of
him.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
So
spot on.
they're not going to let him go that easy. He's a young prospect as well. He's one of their own type idea. So if I'm them, I'm not desperate to sell him. And I'm intrigued to see if he goes. And if he does go, I think it will be because of the contract offered. I think he'll be offered a good contract that is significantly
Yeah,
better than his City contract. And that could tempt him. Otherwise, I don't think it makes sense because of the reasons, like we said. If you're going to be a bench player at anywhere, be a bench player at City and stack up Premier Leagues while you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like, just do that. Just do that. Just go
what
and win
club would
League Cups,
suit
FA
him?
Cup. Huh?
What club would suit him? What club would suit Cole Palmer? I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it would be.
I think someone like Southampton would have been perfect for him when he was still in the Prem. You know what I mean? Like as a little James
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse alternative. Like not stylistically the same players, but he can bring something different and be that
Yeah,
direct
Arsenal
replacement.
is one as well. Arsenal. You know what? I think it would have been West
Arsenal.
Ham, you know. West Ham would have been
Arsenal
a good
wouldn't be a good
option.
one. Arsenal wouldn't be a
No,
good one. He wouldn't play at Arsenal.
Villa's a good option because they don't really have they have Diaby on that right hand side. That's the only problem
Are
as
we
well.
saying this is
I
this
think
guy's level?
West Ham, I reckon. Because you know why? Bowen's starting to move now to a striker now, almost like a central striker. So he would play on that right hand side. You have Bowen up front. Then you have on the left, you have Saeed Benrahma. So you've got
Nah,
options
there's some
there,
good shouts.
guys.
I reckon
There's some
Brentford or
good shouts.
Crystal
Get up the
Palace.
chat.
I think Brentford or Crystal Palace are really good shouts. I think they're belter shout. I don't think he starts at Villa or none of them. You know what I mean? West Ham,
Villa,
possibly.
yeah, Villa because of Diaby. But West Ham, yeah, West Ham. But Brighton, who do they have on their right hand side? Yeah, you know what?
Nah,
Brighton
no.
could be a shout.
I don't think he'd get above Matoma. I think they're in love with Matoma right now to a point where he would.
He's on the left. On the right, they have
Who do they have
that
on the
other
right?
player. What's his name? There's the right back, the right winger. What's his name? Guys, who plays that
Where's
right
the
wing?
ball knowledge? Where's the ball knowledge?
Where's the ball knowledge, guys? Who plays right wing for Brighton? Whoever gets this is a legend. Yeah, Sonny Marsh. That's it. Tayoub. Sonny Marsh
Okay.
plays there. And he's decent. He's decent. But again, come on, man. This is an upgrade, man. Yeah, I mean,
Fair
he's a
play.
close. You know what? I like him, you know. He's actually a United fan, by the way. For those I don't know, Cole Palmer's a
Really?
United fan. Yeah,
Fair
he's a
play.
United fan. He grew up as a United fan. I know his cousin. Big up to his cousin. I know his cousin and that. And you know what, man? I think for me, he's a talented kid, man. You know what I mean? He's from Manchester. And you know what it is? With players that are from Manchester, I don't really kind of hate on them, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? Because it's one of you kind of like, you know what I mean? You're born in the same city. So in that regards, I've watched his career, and you know what? He's a talented winger, man. But this is a moment I always think with players now between 21 and 23. If you don't make it, I don't think you're gonna make it. Like if you don't make it between 21 and 23 and settle down a place, I think it's very, very for me slim that you make it as a footballer or make it as a first team player
Well,
in a
now we've
team.
got to define make it. Now we've got to define make it. What do we say with make it? Because making it, I think making it can be many things now. I think if you're
Okay. Let's say starting position. If you don't nail down a starting position between
Are
21
you
and 23,
saying saying Cole Palmer at the highest level? If he can't nail down a place at City, he can't get back to the highest level. Because if you're saying that, I agree. I think if it doesn't work out at this phase at City, or let's say he moves to Chelsea and it doesn't work out there, I agree with you. I don't think he'll nail down that starting place in what should be, a league-winning team. But then
yeah,
I do still think
starting
that
lineup, that's the word, yeah.
Yeah. I do think that he could go to West Ham or Villa or someone like that, or like someone lower in the Premier League and have a very good career at one of those teams. So it depends what we mean by make it.
Yeah, 100%. It depends. I think for me, Gordon for me, fair play to him. He left Everton and said, you know what, this is my time now. And obviously he's
Fair
wanted
play
to
to
prove
him for
himself. And
taking
now
it.
Newcastle, he's a starter now for Newcastle. And I think
Fair
for
play.
me, you know what, he's a perfect example of, just going now and making that move. He's 21, make
He
the
made the
move
right
now.
choice. He made the right choice. He got so much shit from Everton fans for it, but it was nothing but the right choice. He's a Liverpool fan, Anthony Gordon. He's a Liverpool fan. He joined Everton when
Yeah.
he was like 13 or something like that, and he's been one of their top prospects from about the age of 15 something. And he's always played. You know those kids, like a few kids who play for the academies and whatnot, but the really good ones are the ones who play for the England youth teams. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones who are really worth talking about
Yeah.
and keeping an eye out on. Anthony Gordon's always been in the England youth sides. And we moved to Newcastle in January. Ever since he's improved. He's improved them in a sense that he brings something different to their team. And against us, he caused us a nightmare. So I think he'll be a sound player. I do think there was people who were overrating him for a certain period, but I think now that he's gone to Newcastle, I think that he's over exceeding what I thought he'd do. So if he can keep it up, it's gonna be interesting. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting. And
Facts.
fair play to him.
Facts. Yeah, 100%. And it's another one as well. ESR's a similar one as well. Like he again should have left Aston Villa when he should have. Why did he stay at? I get it. You want to make it Arsenal, but you know what? If you don't have the
It's easy to say in
cojones to make
hindsight,
that
though,
move,
innit?
Yeah, it's hindsight. But I also think like players now, I don't think they've got to say to the manager, I need to start games, but they've got to, be wary of what
I think there was
contracts
a
they
lot of
sign.
reason. I think there was a lot of reason for him to stay. He got given a new shirt number. He got given a bigger contract. Like it's his club. Like
Yeah,
there was loads
hindsight's
of
a wonderful
reasons.
thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
loads.
that's
But
true.
then he's not to expect Odegaard coming in, and then he's not to expect all these new wingers to keep taking his place. He probably thought he was the next guy. He probably thought the same
Yeah,
treatment he gave Saka is what he would have got.
yeah. Talking about that as well, Sancho apparently is linked to Chelsea as well. So,
That's
so
mad.
Chelsea now are linked with Ansu Fati, which apparently now is linked to Tottenham, which
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
is an
Tottenham.
unbelievable move. He's a quality player. They're linked with Ansu Fati. They're linked with Sancho, and obviously now Cole Palmer. But Sancho's another one. Like again, like bro, like does he want to move to Chelsea and then have to prove himself again? Like, will it be a good move for him? I don't know. I think Sancho should go back to Dortmund and or possibly leave to La Liga where he could play the brand new
La
football that
Liga
would
gonna
suit
be a
his
good move
style.
for him. La Liga gonna be a good move if he can go to like
Barcelona
Athletic.
would be a good move. I think Barcelona would be a good move. I generally think Barcelona he would cook there, because if they're losing Ferran Torres or they're losing Ansu Fati, and they've only got that kid who's, by the way, is unbelievable. By the way, I think it's called
Yeah, he looks
Yamal.
quality in it. Yeah, he
Is
looks quality.
absolutely, yeah, he's unbelievable.
Nah, you're
You
right.
know,
Actually, that'd be a good move. They just let go of Ousmane Dembele as well, so that'd make a lot of
Ousmane
sense.
Dembele's gone. They play that football. Apparently, Xavi's wanted him in the past as well. You know what? But the problem is, though, the wages are absolutely
Yeah, he's not going,
killing it.
my G. He's not going. He's not going. No one's taking them wages, bro. No. It's only if he's willing to go somewhere else where it's significantly less. I think at Barca he'd get about 200k a week, but I don't know if Barca's going to be looking at his output in recent times going, that's the guy to continue winning us league titles. Why not?
That's the thing, though. And you know what it is here? Listen, people can say, Sancho, he plays well, he's a good footballer. But you know what it is, though? Football now has evolved, man. It's about output, it's about what can you do. You know what I mean? Your guys, yeah, are they good footballers, Yotto, Gakpo? These guys, are they good footballers, Nunes? But you know what? They got output. This is what football is.
Gakpo's
Even
a
for
good
me, Salah.
footballer.
Salah, I don't think Salah's a good footballer. But you know
Gakpo's
what?
a good
I
footballer.
respect Gakpo.
Gakpo's a good
I do
footballer.
like him. Maybe that was a wrong example. I reckon he's good. But even when
I
I look
just
at
thought that
Salah
was
now,
my
yeah,
guy. Mm.
I personally don't like the way Salah plays in terms of I don't think for me if you compare him to Hazard, I'm taking Hazard all day long. But I look at players like that, they're efficient. You've got to have one or the other. And I think now what the Premier League is now becoming is efficiency rather than
Yeah.
actually being a good footballer. And that's where Sancho's not problem is, but you know what I mean? You can't
I
be in this
disagree.
league.
I just think there's
Go
always
on.
been a bit of both players. I think there's always been players who are very good technically, and then there's very good players who are efficient. What Salah's really, really good at is application. It's the mental side of the game. So
Yeah,
being at the right place at the right time, consistently being at the right place at the right time, being in the
yeah,
best shape in the squad, and also going harder than anyone else when it comes to training, when it comes to being on the pitch, when it comes to consistent chances, working on himself. It's going to give him longevity, which is something like the player you compared him to, Eden Hazard, can't achieve. Now they're both very different players, so it's tough to compare them. I don't even understand that argument, to be honest. One's on the left, one's on the right, and technically wise, they're both very different. And then the application and
yeah,
the roles are very different. Eden Hazard was more the creator as well as the guy who could get end product, whereas Salah is predominantly end product. He's there to get the. It's like if you're doing a Haaland Mbappe comparison. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that Mbappe is cleared in
facts.
certain aspects, but, Haaland's still got the output, which is great for his position. So if we analyse Hazard for what he is, which is a left winger, and then we analyse Salah for
Yeah.
what he's been, which is an inside right forward, you're now looking at
So
the
what does he
roles a
do
bit
then?
differently. Who are we
So
talking about?
what is Sancho? What is Sancho got to do then now to bridge the gap? Can he ever bridge that gap?
Sancho,
'Cause listen,
Sancho can
yeah,
be fine and do a Jack Grealish and actually be boss. He doesn't need output to be boss, but he just needs more output and more involvement. And I think because he's lacking in both,
that's what I'm saying.
fans don't like it.
It- and you know what it is for me? I can have a Sancho more than I can have a Rashford. But the problem is with Rashford, the good thing about Rashford is that he has output, and that's what probably gets him out of jail most games at a time. And you can't say, oh, Rashford's still a bad footballer. It comes down to, for me, in this Premier League, what can you do for the team? And unfortunately, with Sancho, A, he hasn't got the consistency, and B, I don't think he gives enough for the team. Yes, it's all well being giving balance and whatnot, but it gets to the point where you're like, okay, right, you've given me balance, you've given me, you can play with the team and you can play better with others, but now what's the next step? That's what and you know what? Sometimes it isn't made for Sancho at Man United, and we have to move on. And I think this season will be the defining season for that. If this season he can't produce, then I'm sorry, I don't know when he'll produce. It's just one of
I
them
think
for
he
me.
should probably try
So
and go to Chelsea, to be fair, for a
yeah, well there
start.
you go.
He'll get a long contract there, so he'll be fine for the rest of his career. Yeah, who knows, mate? Who knows? I think there's a player there, though. I think you should try and keep hold of him. I think if you make it work with Sancho, you've got
Would you take Liverpool?
someone
Would you take
there.
him at Liverpool? Would you take him at Liverpool? Okay.
No, it's.
Yeah.
I think. Don't you think it's encouraging that I'm actually thinking about it? Because I'm thinking about it. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm
Well, you
thinking
could have
about
given me an answer straight away. If you rated him that highly, you would have said yes straight away.
No, come on. We've got Salah, we've got Diaz, we've got great options.
Well, Salah might not be there anymore.
I was gonna say, I think he'd do well in our team. Weirdly enough,
Yeah, he had that choice, but obviously because of the wages, we offered more wages in
see
that regard.
that
So that's
all
why he
that
came.
side of things matters. Okay, so is it just Sancho or is it other options? He's not my number one choice, but if we ended up with Sancho, I wouldn't be pulling my hair out. I'd be like, I think we can get something out of him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
And then if we got
Hey,
something out of him, we've got a class player. Like that's the one thing I'll say
yeah,
about Sancho. If you get something out of him, you've got one of the best players
facts,
in the freaking country. So don't mind if I do in that
facts.
sense. And do
Yeah,
you know what's funny?
guys,
People say Sancho is better than Diaz, but it's not true on the premise of the past 24 months. And if you want to use Sancho at Dortmund days, fine. He was great at Dortmund, but he didn't do much to surpass what Diaz has done for us. Diaz has actually
yeah,
been really good for us. So I think it's a lot closer. I think people are just going primarily off FIFA ratings if they're saying Sancho is just better.
yeah.
And he is more technical than Diaz, don't get me wrong, and he's more fine in certain ways. But Diaz has
But
certainly got
Diaz has the both. Diaz has a bit of technique, but he also has
the end
power.
product
He
as
has
well,
pace.
yeah.
He has
And he
end
still needs
product,
to
and
work
that.
on his end product, but he still gets
Yeah,
involved and he's still getting goals. And yeah, I think people massively underrate Diaz from our fan base and from neutrals. People don't realise how good he is. He's quality.
yeah, yeah. Guys, still 1.1K in the building. There's 352 likes. We need to get that up to 500 people. Like, come on, guys. Hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny. It won't harm you. So please hit the like button. We're giving you a good, solid show. Make sure you're subscribing to Jay's Redmond TV as well. We've got a super chat here from 1886 and Taylor gone, Nuno gone. No traditional left back at the club. Arteta needed to sign left back and centre back. Somehow our squad is weaker. 6.5 out of 10 window. Not chuffed. I hear you. I think a lot of Arsenal fans have been overrating their window. Their window's not that great. Like when you deep it. Like they bought Timber, which is good. Havertz, come on, man. It's not
That was
great. And
right.
obviously, Rice is a good signing. But when you add the fact that you've lost Timber, it doesn't look like a great window. And they've not bought a striker as well. I think they need a striker. So I don't think
I
it's even
disagree.
a. Yeah, go on then.
I
Why do you
disagree.
disagree?
I think they've had one of the better windows, and it's not even really that close. Like they brought in a backup centre back who unfortunately got injured. They got a backup goalkeeper when Ramsdale's fine, and like Raya's actually a really good fucking backup goalkeeper, by the way. So like happy days there. They've got Declan Rice and Partey competing for CDM positions, so that's fine competition. They went and
Okay.
got Havertz, and then they went and got. Is that it? Is that all they've signed?
This is where you need to add perspective into it. They lost Xhaka.
Which I'm
So who did they
agreeing.
replace him with?
Yeah,
Partey. So that's like for like.
yeah.
So basically, you've not added. You've got Timber. So you would say who Tierney has left. That's like for like. You've got Havertz. So he's then replaced not really anyone because so that means then they've really only added one player into their squad more than last season. So in reality, if they're willing to catch Manchester City, and Manchester City have added quality to their squad now still, when they're meant to be the one that have to decrease in quality and get worse in that kind of regards. How did Arsenal not capitalize on that? You have to capitalize. In these league title races, you have
Can
to
we suggest?
capitalize.
Yeah,
We
then
did it when we got
you're
Van
using.
Persie.
You're using a metric of transfer window, and that's how they get better or worse, not taking into consideration the fact that all their players are young, all of them are 1 year better. So you're sitting there saying, can they make that difference? Well, yeah, let's analyse City's difference, because I'm not saying Arsenal will compete with City. I don't think they will, but going off your metric, City have arguably got worse based on a transfer window. And if these like for likes, because we're not going on quantity, we're going off quality. And if the quality of these signings are better than the outgoings that left this summer, well, that's important because now they've got better players than what they had originally. And City have arguably got worse. People wouldn't sit there and say Kovacic is better than Gundogan. That'd be ludicrous. That'd be fucking ridiculous. If they went and got Paqueta, I'm sure people wouldn't sit there and say Paqueta's better than Mahrez.
No, I hear that.
So that's important. So
Nunes,
City have got worse and Arsenal have got better, even if it's only 5% better.
They've got Nunes as well coming. Nunes is coming. They've got Gavard. Nunes from Wolves just accepted a bid.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. No, you're right there. True.
So Nunes and then now Gavardiol as well. The problem is, you can City on the benchmark. City are what they're the team that's at the top. Right. What is everyone else doing to get to them? And I think Arsenal haven't done enough, especially up front. I just think for me, Jesus goes out, you're relying on
what was they supposed to have done? So you're saying if they got an Osimhen, for instance, they would now beat City for the league?
No, I'm not saying really Osimhen, but I'm just saying a striker of good quality. And for me as well, when I look at it, I do think they need one more winger in that regard. Because Xhaka, come on, man. You can rely on Saka every game. They need someone else on that right-hand side. That's why Diaby would have been a good option. They let Diaby go to Aston Villa.
Nah,
they should have got Diaby as well.
That's why they're keeping Pepe now.
Pepe, man. Pepe. Come on, man.
He's fine. He's a fine backup right winger. I like Pepe. Pepe's a good player.
I'm only speaking out of anger. The fact that we're allowing City just to kind of just be there and just nobody's like trying to say, right, we've got a squad and an establishment to be ready to knock them off. Yes, they have Pep Guardiola, but you guys, when you had your fearsome team of, was it 2018-19 with your Sadio Mane, you know, all these quality, and I was like, you guys were ready to compete against Manchester City. Right. I don't think Arsenal are still ready in that regard.
We weren't, though, Saeed. Hear me out. We weren't. We fully weren't. We weren't ready to compete with them. We just ended up doing it. It was just one of those that happened out of nowhere, bro. Like, there was one season where we got 97 points, and then we got 99 points, and then we fell off a little bit, and then we came back and got 92. It was just like a spell of just the players hit the peak, and these Arsenal players, Saeed, I'm sorry, bro, but because it's Arsenal, people are so premature with their players ain't even scratching the surface of their fucking prime. They're not even scratching. They're all like 22, 23, broski. Like, Saka can most certainly
Haaland's 23. Haaland's 22. Foden's 22.
So who I'm not talking about.
You know what I mean?
City have also got some very, very good young players.
They've got young players, man. Gavardio's coming in now. He's young.
City have also got very good young players. But it's completely irrelevant to what I was saying, with all due respect, Saeed. Like, they're young players of quality.
But the thing is, is it a young project? Is it a youth project?
Yeah,
then, or are you trying to win the league?
Let's do a like for like then. We'll put Haaland over in Nketiah and freaking Gabriel Jesus.
Alvarez, 22.
No, that's right. But we're not doing a City-Arsenal comparison. You just made a debate up in your own head. But if we want to do this, who's better, Saliba or Guardiola? We can say Saliba, innit?
Saliba.
Saliba's fucking quality, bro. He actually is a generational centre-back. Like, that's what they've got at the back line, you know what I'm saying? Saka's better than Doku.
Saka's better than Doku, yeah. I agree.
Saka's better than Doku. And then if you want to go left winger, who's their young left winger? It's Foden.
To be fair, it's Grealish on their side, but Foden is in there.
Nah, Grealish.
The thing is, you're going away from the point, though. You're going away from the point. My point is that,
but that's what you brought it to that point. So I agree. I then agreed to dive into your point. So it was actually you brought it away.
No, but I said that's. No, but I'm asking in relation to what you're saying. What are Arsenal trying to achieve? Is it a youth project, or are you aiming to win the league?
No, they're aiming to win the league. But they can do it, though, because they got second last year with these players, and these players are all under 24. And that means they're not even scratching their prime. Once they get in their prime, what if they can compete with City? Because when Mane was at Southampton, you don't look at him and go, you're a guy.
You don't expect everyone else to be around them better. And you don't expect everyone around them to be better in that time.
I expect everyone to always keep improving, but it doesn't always end up that way. The same way it hasn't ended up that way with Chelsea, even though they've made significant investments, or Everton, even though they've made big signings. Yes, you expect teams to get better, but you also naturally, in turn, expect teams to get worse. Yeah, you guys are making some meaty fucking decisions on a transfer front. I think
I
you guys
agree.
will get worse. I think you guys will get worse. I think they will get better. You will get worse. You're now one less team they have to worry about. But Newcastle will get better. And maybe Tottenham with
Yeah.
Postecoglou, they'll get better. So now these are new teams Arsenal need to worry about. But maybe us too, we could fall below the pecking order. And then they're not worried about
Yeah.
us no more. So I hear what you're saying. I just think you're doubting. If you think their players will never be good
No,
enough,
you
that's
have to.
fine.
I'm just wanting them to say, you know what, get a grip and
I think
start.
they've-
You know
I
what?
don't think. I don't think they could have done anything else this window, maybe besides an out-and-out number 9. Maybe besides that. Otherwise, I don't think they could have done
And one
anything
more
else.
winger. And one more winger as well. And one more winger.
Nah, you're pushing it because you've still got Smith Rose, that
You know how many
versatile
games?
backup.
You know how many games Saka has played, by the way?
You've got
I think it's
Pepe.
84 games.
You've got Pepe.
Listen,
You've got
forget
Smith
Pepe,
Rowe.
man. Pepe's not there, bro. Come on, man.
Is he not an Arsenal player right now? Am I wrong with that information?
He is, but in I don't know. He's just not there, bro. He's not there. He's
Nah,
not there.
you're bad for
I
that.
just
You're
think for
bad for
me,
that.
Arsenal. You know what it is? I just think right now, when you've got
As
a
a
push
backup, we're
for
talking
something,
about the
you
backup
got to
right winger.
push.
Why do we need some world-class fucking right winger as your backup? Pepe is fine for a backup right winger. They have got a 70 million
Listen,
pound asset as a backup right winger, and we're all sitting there saying that's bollocks.
yeah.
Do you know what's funny? Pepe would
You know who
walk
their
into your
backup is?
fucking
Jeremy
team.
Doku.
No, wait there.
Look at their
Chat fucking
backup.
like
That's
we're not
Jeremy
establishing
Doku.
it.
Bernardo Silva. You need to get quality,
Pepe
man.
would
And
walk
this is
into
for
your
all
team,
fans.
innit? Can we just say something? Pepe would walk into your team. We
No, he
agree on
wouldn't.
this.
He wouldn't.
He's better
He
than
wouldn't.
Anthony, though, innit?
Okay,
Better than Anthony.
I'm not gonna talk about that. No, he's not. Actually, no, he's not. Get out of here. Yeah, man. I'm not even gonna do that. Pepe, we don't even know who Pepe has. Pepe played football for the past 2 years. By the way, it's mid versus mid. I don't want to even talk about mid versus mid, bro. They're both bad. Where's this guy? Where's this guy gone, man? Get back, man.
You're a bad man. You're a bad dude. You're naughty for that. That's bad. That's like, nah, you're fucking wrong.
Bro, listen, man. Nobody knows where Pepe's been playing. You don't even know where Pepe's been for the last 2 years. What clubs has Pepe been at? You tell me.
Bro, where the fuck's Sancho been? I thought he was under contract with you. It turns out he's in
I'm
fucking
asking a
Burger
question.
King.
What clubs has Pepe been at the last 2 years?
Arsenal.
Right?
I don't know what he's been doing.
What loans has he been at? What loans did you know? Do you know?
I haven't got a fucking
Why
clue.
look at this chat?
I'm trying to.
So there you go. So how are you backing a player that you don't even know what club he's played for?
Give you just wait there. I'm gonna fucking sort. Wait there. Let me go out and in because I'm playing.
This guy's waffling, man. You absolute waffler, man. He doesn't even know where Pepe has played for the past 2 years. But yet somehow he'll say he's better than Anthony. You don't even know how he... Oh, my days. Let me bring him back.
Nah, because Pepe's boss. Yeah, should we have a look at the resume? Nicolas
Bro,
Pepe.
forget the resume. What club has he been at? Bro, what clubs has he been at? Where's he played?
Saeed, I think that's part of the resume. It's not a part of the resume. Is that not a resume?
Bro,
Saeed,
you have to have knowledge of what you're speaking.
You know, right,
if you're talking something without no knowledge, how can you then defend the guy? Come on, man.
Now we need to establish a resume. So, he's got 6 goals in 19 games for Nice. How many goals has Sancho got? And how many goals has Anthony got? How many goals has Sancho got? And how many goals has Anthony got combined, by the way, you fuck? I think Pepe has got more goals for friggin' Nice in 19 games than your friggin' wingers combined. Chat, am I right? Am I right? I think I'm right.
Listen,
your
first of all,
wingers are shit. Your wingers are dog shit.
Is the French league better than the Premier League?
Games.
Is the French league better than the Premier League? The French league.
Wait there, Saeed.
French league where Lacazette scored how many goals?
6 goals in 90.
Listen,
The
French
premise of
league.
your argument can't always be league football.
Are
Sancho
are
was
we
good
actually
in one
comparing
league.
stats from the League Earn to the Premier League? Are you
I
actually
think
comparing
here's
stats
my
here? Do you
theory.
know how many
Here's my
guys have
theory.
stat padded that
Here's
league?
my theory.
Have you
Let
know?
me
Do you
say
know how
my
many
theory.
players have stat padded that league?
Let me say my theory. Let me say my
Go on.
theory. I think if Anthony and Sancho were in these other leagues in the form they've been in, they'd still be shit.
They do
Because the
well.
form they've been in,
No,
it just takes a
how?
basically decent
Oh
defender
my
to
days!
actually defend these fools. So
Listen,
yes, I
listen,
will
listen,
happily
listen,
compare
listen.
stats.
That
You said,
league,
what's he
that
been in
league,
and
Lacazette.
where's he been?
Lacazette was top scorer in that league, mate. And Lacazette was the guy that barely scored in the Premier League. So how are you giving
Okay,
me this nonsense? This
okay,
guy was a top
okay.
scorer in League
Yeah,
One,
then let's
and he
establish
absolutely
something else.
stacked the place
Yeah,
out in
let's
this league.
establish something
So
else.
what's your point?
Yeah, you want Premier League
Go on.
form. Yeah, well, based on Premier League form, because you do this. You do a straw man and thing where you'll bring me
Right.
into an argument, Saeed, into something else that we're talking about. What
Yeah.
we're actually talking about here is what did Pepe do over the previous 2 years? Just because you're not happy with the standard that is being met, because he's not in the Premier League, even though you asked me specifically about the past year or two. I brought you
Yeah.
your standards, and now you're not happy with how the standard turns out because Pepe's been better than Anthony and Sancho. But let's go Premier League reference. No, we are. Let's go Premier League reference. You don't like league
And he stuck at it
comparisons.
towards the end of the season.
Can't compare the
And
Farmers
look
League.
what he did. Look, tell me when the goals were. Tell me when the goals were. He scored about 3 of them, 4 of them towards the end of the season when basically the season was done, by the way. But yeah, tell me the context of the goals where
Why
Pepe
didn't Sancho?
scored.
Why didn't Sancho and that do the same when goals meant nothing? Why didn't they do the
Answer
same?
the question, man.
Why
Answer the
didn't they
question.
do the
When did
same?
Pepe score?
No, we are. Why didn't do this? Why didn't they do the same?
Answer the question. Find out when he scored. Since you're on these stats, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
Find out
an
the
intense great researcher. I only gave you the basics, and if I go off the basics, Pepe scored more than Sancho and Anthony combined. We agree on this.
What in
We
the
agree.
in Ligue 1? In Ligue 1 stats you're talking about?
Yes, that's important because you asked me about the past 2 years, and it just so happens he's been in League 1 for the past year. So yeah, let's go off Premier League reference. 16
Yeah.
goals for Arsenal in 80 league games, and a lot of them wouldn't have been starts.
Yep.
So therefore, he's still better than Anthony and Sancho off a Premier League reference.
No, but I'm asking the question, yeah. When did he score? When was it? And how many non-penalty goals have we got as well? How many penalty goals? What's the context behind this
I'm
as
not
well?
on a website looking at when he scored goals, broski. I don't know where to go for that shit. You're an intense researcher. Why don't you look it up if you want to know so bad? So that's fine. So I've gave you French
By the way,
league
you know
reference.
what's mad about all of this, yeah?
Oh, yeah,
You know
wait there.
what's mad about all of this,
Let me
yeah?
say one last thing.
I did not.
Wait there. Let
Go
me
on.
say one last thing. I gave you recent time reference, and I gave you Premier League reference, and Nicolas Pepe surpasses Sancho and Anthony combined in both. In fucking both. And you're still
No,
being
listen,
deluded.
man.
It's
But the
fine that
season's
you've
not
got
finished yet.
Anthony. It's
You know
fine
what's
that you've got an
crazy?
Anthony poster
You know
in your
what's mad, yeah?
background.
No, let me hold it a minute. The thing is, yeah, two players are still relevant, and the other player is irrelevant now. He can't even find a club. He doesn't know where he is. His career is done at the age of 27. So at least we can say that Sancho and Anthony still have careers and are still playing at the highest
Michael
level.
Owen's
Pepe,
career.
nobody
Michael
wants
Owen's
Pepe.
career.
Nobody
was
wants
done
Pepe.
at 22. Michael Owen's career was done at 22. So listen, we've got reference there to where players don't do well
No,
beyond a
but
certain age.
I'm asking a simple question though.
Can we agree?
Pepe,
Oscar
nobody
went
wants
to
him.
China at
At least
24.
now,
Oscar went to China at
Sancho
24.
and Anthony have time to resurrect their career.
You can't use that
They
premise.
have time to
Let
resurrect
me
their
let you know
career.
why that's
But
a flawed
now,
premise. Let me let you know why that's a flawed premise. Let me let you know. The original argument, because now we've gone on to a different argument, but I'll still fucking own you in this one. But the previous argument was that in recent time, what has Nicolas Pepe done? In fact, no, let's start it again. Nicolas Pepe, is he good enough to be a backup for Arsenal? That was my argument. You then claimed he's not good enough. I then claimed, well, I think he'd get into your team and he'd be your best right
winger. He's
winger.
not here.
Like,
why is Arteta want him then? Okay, why did Arteta want him?
Let me land. Just because I'm cooking doesn't mean you should interrupt me. Let me land.
No, but when does he come? When is he coming then? When is he there then? If you say he's good as he is, then why is he not in the Arsenal squad now? If you say he's as good as he is,
we
why
were
is he in the
talking
Arsenal
about him
squad
in
now?
reference to a backup. I never said he was going to be good enough to start. I said he'd be good enough to start in your team. I don't think he's good enough to start for Saka, but I do think he's good enough to start for Anthony and Sancho.
I was talking about Saka these game time. No, we have to hold you accountable.
Let me land.
We have to hold you accountable. We have to hold you accountable. No, we have to hold you accountable. What you said before,
I said accountable on shit.
No. Hold on. When I said to you, Saka, hold on. When I said to you, Saka needs to have time off, and you said, well, Pepe's there, and I've just said to you, the manager don't want Pepe.
I said, this is what I said. I agree. So yeah, Pepe's there. Clearly, they do want him because they just extended his contract. So what you've just said is also false. So they want to keep him because they believe he'll be a good enough backup. A claim which I agree with. I agree with the claim that Pepe is good enough to be a backup for when Saka's not available. Is he as good as Saka? No. But now we're completely astonishing the idea of what a backup is meant to be. Not meant to be good as the first choice, but are they good enough to step up in games? Yes. So then we led on to the conversation. I think I made the claim he would be better than both of your shitty ass right wingers, which is Sancho and which is Antony. And then you said, wait, let me land. I'll only be 20 more seconds. Give me 20 seconds and I'll land, and then we don't have to interrupt each other. Get on this. You then made the claim. There's not a chance that Nicolas Pepe... What's Nicolas Pepe done in the past year? I gave you reference. I let you know, even though it's in Liga, he scored more goals, probably combined, than both of your fucking wingers. That's important. Yep. You then said, actually, I don't like that context, even though I asked for recent time context. I don't like it. I then said, okay, let me give you Premier League reference. I provided you Premier League reference, and he still had a better goal-to-game ratio than freaking Sancho and Antony, and then you didn't like that reference. And now we've somehow ended up here. Where you
have you finished? Have you finished now? Yeah, you finished. But okay, then, if you say he's as good as he is, yeah, let's see if he gets back into this.
As a backup, which is how good I said he is. Let's establish what I said and how good he is. I said he was good enough to be a backup.
Let's see. And if he doesn't get into this Arsenal team as a backup, yeah, what's your premise? Is he finished? Is he dusted?
Of course, if he continues to not get into the team and he continues to whatever.
Say no more.
You haven't proved not asking that, though.
Say no more. Say no more.
Why are you sitting back like as if you've just made a great point and it was a mic drop moment?
Like, we don't know who this guy is. We don't know where he is. We don't know what he's doing
he's better than Antony and Sancho. But we do know he's better than Antony and Sancho. We do know that. And then the last thing you said as well was just because they're young. Yeah, just because Saka's young and Saka is arguably better now than what Salah was at that age doesn't mean Saka will end up being better than Salah. A lot of players are late bloomers. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be so many great strikers who were significantly better than Jamie Vardy at that age will never hit the legacy that Jamie Vardy had. Can we agree?
Well, maybe. Yeah, there are late bloomers. So there are players who do still
because what you did is what a lot of people do. You try to save your players by saying, but James the Young, as if to solidify or quantify the shite performances they've put in over the past 12 to 24 months. It was just poor from you, Saeed. You need to debate better because that was.
I don't think it's poor from me, though. I don't think it is.
Was really bad from you.
Think it is.
So wait, your stance right now is you debated fine there. That was a good debate from Saeed TV.
Yeah, I think I did.
I think every
in my argument, I was more consistent in what I said. But like I said to you, reverted back to Liga and stats, and it's okay. But it is what it is. But anyway, we're gonna move on. Tottenham, last subject of the day. Guys, if you haven't liked the video already, then I don't know what you're doing, man. This is what we do. We debate things on the channel. Yeah, I mean, this is what we do. And please like the video. Ange bottled another trophy. Tottenham have bottled another trophy. What are you saying?
Our boss is Postecoglou, by the way.
You know what? The thing is for me, though, like, why did he make so much changes, man? It's still... I don't understand when managers make so many changes at the start of the season when your players are meant to be fresh. Like, this is when you're meant to play them more often, not later on in that regards.
Who cares? It's
not, though. He needs to win a trophy. They need to win a trophy, man.
Let Postecoglou cook. He's doing a Pep Guardiola. Come on, Saeed.
Wow. Man's taking a piss out of him, you know. But you know what it is, though, man? I think for me, listen, people like Tottenham, yeah? Teams like Tottenham need to take Carabao Cup seriously, man. They've not won a trophy in about 16 years. Come on, man.
They don't need to take it seriously. They don't.
Why? That's what I'm saying. Why
if they win the League Cup, it goes from, oh, well, you've won no trophies to, oh, well done, you've won a League Cup. Like no one cares if they win a League Cup. It has to be one of significance for us to really lift that case. And also, there's no super financial incentive for the League Cup. You only get about 200k if you win it anyway.
It's for the fans. It's for the stigma attached to Tottenham that they're not they're the serial bottlers.
Believe me, a League Cup does not help their claim of not being serial bottlers. They are still serial bottlers even if they win a League Cup.
No, they don't, because then that means no. But it kind of changes the argument that Tottenham can't win trophies, and it goes to the point where you know what? When Tottenham get to that nearly point, they bottle it. For me, it kind of changes the narrative for a little bit. Okay, until they go on another trophy drought, but Tottenham need to stop the pattern of becoming serial losers. I'm sorry, James.
No, that's right.
That to me,
but they don't
it does
overcome.
change it.
They don't overcome that serial losers name tag by simply winning a league cup.
Well, it is.
They really don't.
Well, it is.
Like,
What's
for
a
instance,
serial loser?
you guys want a league cup. Yeah, for instance, you guys want a league cup. I think you're going to get worse, and I don't look at you like big men. I look at our community
we're
shield the same size as your league cup.
We're different. We're different. Expectations are more higher. Tottenham and Man United's expectations,
Yes.
they're not the same. So let's
Yes.
not do that.
Yes.
If
But Tottenham
what's
won
the
that
definition
trophy.
of a serial loser? What's the definition of a serial loser?
I'm going to assume in your definition, it's someone who constantly bottles it. The nearly men type idea, like a serial loser. Even if you're
Basically.
close and even if you're good, you're still going to miss out because you're a serial loser. Is that right?
So basically, yeah. So basically, you then basically establish, you know what? You're not a serial loser, and you've actually the hoodoo's gone, and now you've shown that you can actually win trophies, and you've took it seriously. And you know what? Fair play to Tottenham. They won a trophy in the first time in 18 years. Come on, man.
It's just not the end of the world like you're painting out just because they've been knocked out of the League Cup. That's all I'm simply saying.
It is. For Tottenham, it is.
It's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. They shouldn't be too harsh. Just like get focused, get them back into Europe. When you get the FA Cup, go and try and win that. It was one game. Let's stop being a bunch of pussies and back the Aussie, will you? Like, you know what I mean? It's only a League Cup.
Nah, you know what it is.
What respect? What respect? Yeah. So for us to be moaning like the way we're moaning, say we're Tottenham fans and we're upset about this League Cup game. What is there for us to be moaning to such a degree to sit there and say, if we won a League Cup, we're now in these conversations of serial winners? Not a chance. Like, it's just one League Cup. No one will take it seriously.
No, but it's sometimes you need that one win in life to kind of make you believe that, you know what, like, we should be winning trophies. This shouldn't be a situation where Tottenham shouldn't be winning one trophy every 20 years or one trophy every 15, 16 years. It gives you that sense of feeling as a football club that we have to prioritize trophies, and we don't prioritize just making money. We don't prioritize just selling players. We don't prioritize becoming a marketable club and a commercial club. We prioritize winning trophies. That's what a club like Tottenham should have in their philosophy.
League Cup, bro. No one cares.
But that's what I'm saying. You start small. League Cup is probably, in that regard, when I look at it, you know what I mean? At the end, teams don't take it seriously like Man City, Liverpool. They put on their weaker team. It's probably easier to win.
I like the League Cup, don't get me wrong. And I think there is significance in winning it. It's not to a point that'll give Tottenham any street cred. People will forget about that League Cup they win within days. And then they're back to being same old Tottenham. Like the second they knocked out of the FA Cup, it'll just be, oh, they've got this many years till the next one. Tottenham are just that type of club, bro. A League Cup doesn't change their historicity. It doesn't change the outlook on them. It doesn't change the order around them. They're still shit. So I just don't think it's the end of the world. Postecoglou's new to the job. Let him cook. You know what I mean? Like, if anyone's upset about it, let him cook.
Fairs. Listen, people, we're going to wrap it up here, man. I don't know how many likes we're on right now, but let me just
about 659 just for now, and then we want to get it up to 1,000. 500? Oh, come on, chat. 500. Seriously. Why would you make me come here for an hour for 500 likes? At least, come on, 600 likes. 600 likes before the end of the stream. 100 people out of the friggin' 1,000 people who are watching right now can't smash a like. Come on. So let's get that to 600. And then those who are watching on replay, you have the same energy. You still have a big part to play like the live chat do right now. Let's get it to 1,000. But big up to Saeed, man.
Yeah. Big up, man. James Redmond, what you got going on, man? Anything coming up?
Stream later, where I basically have to defend myself against the Nunez sexuals who decide to now say he's the best striker in the world. So now I've got to make the claims to support my reasoning to why he's not that, but he's good enough to come off the bench. He's a great Divock Origi replacement as such. And then, once I'm done with that, I'm going to sleep, Saeed. So I've got a productive day. And it was great doing the show with you again, but I'll see you again next week.
Definitely, man. Yeah, just to see that Nunes, here we go. Full agreement done. So that means Nunes is officially going to be a Manchester City player.
What a player.
Yeah. Guys, I'm going to be back at 5 p.m. Mandem Talk. So I'll be live then. And James Redmond, it's been a pleasure. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.